And we're back, yo people of YouTube. Welcome to my channel. I'm Ishe Jindu, or Zinyati, soon to be Zimbabwe's top real estate agent. As you already know, last week we covered the fundamentals of renovating your home right, what renovating is, how to do it, when to do it, and in my personal opinion, the 3 best routes to go about it if you're starting on your renovation journey. And today we're moving on to doing the exact same thing for the older brother of home improvement, remodeling. So subscribe for real, like this video, share this video, and let's get into it. It's funny, when most people are talking about seriously improving their home, they always seem to be talking about renovating. But when you get to know it better, like I described in my previous video, go watch it, renovating is very surface level. You know, it's painting the walls, it's fixing the plug, it's upgrading your lighting, and at its absolute worst, it's doing something massive like maybe retiling your roofing. But all in all, you're not really going out of your way to do something super extraordinary. You're always working with fundamentally the same structures and materials. The wall, the windows, the lights, the roof. You know what's there, you know you just have to spruce it up or upgrade it a little bit. But when we're now talking about remodeling your home, things tend to spike up a lot when we're talking about the level of things that can go wrong. Though at the same time, this is also where you can take your home upgrading skills to the next level. So let's get into it. It's always good to make sure we're on the same page with the definition of remodeling, and unlike renovating where you're dealing with the same structures, either upgrading them, replacing them, or restoring them, remodeling is more hands-on and intense. When it comes to remodeling, you're now reshaping, adapting, and all in all changing the structure of your property. Or you're breaking down serious structures in your home for the sake of creating a totally new environment. Renovating is reviving what was, remodeling is making something completely new. And the way I personally see it is that there are 3 means of remodeling your home. This is usually because of my Toastmasters side speaking, always keep to the law of 3s. But as I said, this is my opinion. If it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't, write it in the comments below. I'll get to it. And if you feel like there's a way of remodeling that I skipped on, put that also in the comments below. I'll evaluate it and possibly update this video. But for now, the 3 remodeling means I think are most prevalent and you're most probably to do or encounter in a property are these: sizing, enhancing, and hybriding. So to kick it off, let's start it with the easiest to understand and the most likely to be done: sizing. As is in the name, sizing is all about making a structure in your home bigger or smaller. It's not the development of new structures, it's switching up the amount of space you have on offer in the rooms you already have. The layout only changes to expand or constrict those rooms. That being the case, you often find the fact that resizing is usually the foundation for all other means of remodeling your home. That is to say that sometimes you really do just resize your home for the sake of yourself. You want a bedroom or a lounge bigger or smaller, but usually in most cases you're resizing to add something new or take something away, which leans more towards enhancing and hybriding, but we'll get into more detail on those when we get to those. For now, you'd be correct to just see resizing as simply spatial manipulation of the rooms you have. You have a bedroom, you want it bigger, resizing. You have a kitchen, you want it smaller, resizing. Though special note, as I was saying, usually when you resize your home, especially if you're making it bigger, you're going to have to add new things to it, whether it's lighting, sockets, windows, whatever. And that's counted as enhancing under the remodeling umbrella because these things never existed before. They're only existing because you resized your home. It's not renovating. So let's jump into understanding what enhancing is. Enhancing is fundamentally changing the layout or the offerings of your property on a long-term basis. These are the fixed structures that affect your home's layout in total, either internally where you sleep or externally your yard and your landscaping. Things like adding a swimming pool or a pool house or a cottage. Remember, enhancing isn't refurnishing. You're dealing with fixed structures and the fixed layout of your property. Things that are supposed to last for a very long time. Pretty much permanent changings. Not refurnishing like buying a new couch, but remodeling like adding a swimming pool that you can't just pick up and take away whenever you decide you don't want it anymore. To link an example back to resizing, things you normally find when people are enhancing their home is that they'll maybe enlarge their bathrooms and then enhance it by throwing a bathtub and a toilet. Straight up, enhancing is probably the most flexible form of remodeling because it can encompass anything like building an entire wing in your home, or building an entire swimming pool, or building an entire room on your property. But at the same time, it's also the small things like adding another electrical socket in your room somewhere where it wasn't before, or relaying cables in order to put in a different light at the back of a room, or you want a back door exit on your house so you carve a hole in the kitchen to go outside. This is pretty much the fact as to why people often confuse renovating with remodeling. But just always remember, if it wasn't there before and you're adding something new, it's remodeling. If it was there before but you're just sprucing it up or upgrading it, it's renovating. Undoubtedly, enhancing is the renovating means that offers the most flexibility to the value of your property, because you can do things like building an entire floor on your property. So it's the place where if you're doing it right, you can significantly spike up the value of your home. But because of how you're dealing with the fundamental layout and structure of your home, it's also the place where if you mess up, you might really sink the value of your home to the depths of the ocean. So it's always wise to do this with a professional, or with people who know what they're doing, your real estate agent, your construction companies. All in all, remodeling is not the place to be when you want to DIY stuff. You might just end up building some sort of Frankenstein's cabin dwelling place. We don't want that. Before we move on to the final remodeling means, I think it's important that I just outline the fact that though I call it enhancing, it's not just the addition of materials, structures, and buildings on your property. It can also be taking away. What I mean by enhancing is that you're fundamentally changing the structure, layout, offerings of your property, or seemingly the better, and sometimes less is more. Removing certain unnecessary things in your home just helps to declutter the area and might even just help it to seem more homely for people who want to purchase or rent your property. So enhancing really is the way to unleash our inner Lego builder. When we do it right, we're really trying to build the home of our buyer's dreams when we do it right. And now onto the final one and the most recent younger brother to the remodeling category. Let's talk about hybriding. Hybriding is a fairly recent remodeling trend in real estate that's in many ways a little bit like sizing and a little bit like enhancing, but also at the same time, it's like none of the above and it's some sort of weird entity all on its own. So in the everyday sense, when you're looking at homes, what I'm classifying as hybriding is the sudden trend of open floor housing layouts and plans. You see, previously, before the 1990s, I'd say, houses were pretty much connected boxes. You had a box for your bedroom, a box for your bathroom, a box for your lounge, a box for your kitchen, box, boxy, box, all connected through pathways or through going each individual box. This was pretty much the case for all homes. No matter where you went, you had a room for this and you had a room for that. Everything had its purpose and was separated from the rest. Until hybriding or open house floor plans became a thing. Now you had a situation where 2, 3 or more functional rooms were pretty much intertwined and seamless in how you'd look at them. The kitchen, the dining room, the lounge, they didn't necessarily have any partitions like doors or walls separating them from one another, and was pretty much just all open. You were pretty much just in one giant room that encompassed all 3 activities and purposes, and it was seamless. As time went on, hybriding started to encompass more things in order to make more lavish and more open designs. Master suites with open walk-in closets, bedrooms and lounges seamlessly connecting with the outside patio, balcony or veranda. All these things in order to make a home feel more spacious and open, not claustrophobic or enclosed in. Whether this trend of hybriding is a good or a bad thing is for another video, because there's a lot of good things that you gain from such open designs, but everything does come at a cost. Are you willing to pay it? Stay tuned, subscribe for real, ring the bell so that you find out when the next video launches. Breaking down walls is fun, but you better know what you're doing. Next week, we're gonna close off this introduction series to upgrading your home with refurnishing, and after that, I'll slowly start double backing to each of the 3 means of upgrading your home: renovating, remodeling, and refurnishing, on the specifics of what you can do in each category and subcategory in order to upgrade and bolster the value of your property. But as I did with my renovating video, I'll leave you with 3 examples of what I think are the best means of remodeling your home. Starting off with number 1. More box-like structures. Listen, a box is a very versatile thing. The more boxes you have in your home, the better. And by box-like structures, I'm talking anything that can pretty much turn into a bedroom. Even if it seems excessive in your opinion, having anywhere from 4 to 5 bedrooms is usually the average sweet spot for most properties. Even if they're not being used, people don't mind having 1 or 2 spare bedrooms that don't get used during the year. What they do care about and mind on is the fact that if they have guests over or decide to have another child, they now completely have nowhere to put that person. Having a spare box-like structure is just more versatile. It might not even turn into a bedroom in the long run. It might be a study today, a man cave tomorrow, an art room the next day. Having a box is just super essential, and I encourage you, if your home doesn't have one and you're thinking of remodeling, throw in an extra room or 2. Your real estate agent will praise you. After that, number 2, a larger open kitchen. This is probably the most vain remodeling aspect out there, but it's also the trend that won't die. Okay, food is life, so I get it, but having an open, spacious kitchen is one of the most determining factors for whether a family is going to move into a home or not. It just keeps on consistently being a common denominator in the results of whether or not a home is rented out or purchased off the market. If you're thinking of remodeling your home, but you really just want to focus on a 1 room on your property, your kitchen is probably the best place to start if you're not considering adding more bedrooms. And finally, my final remodeling best example to go by is probably also the most annoying to do if you're adding to your home, and that's adding more bathrooms. Or to be more specific, because if you're a real estate connoisseur like me, bathroom is something very specific. What I'm talking about is having at least more powder rooms. That's a toilet and a sink. The reason being this: when it comes to the expansion of your property, nothing is more inconvenient to put up like plumbing. It's just very invasive on your property, it takes time and it's costly, but it's also absolutely critical. If you're building your home from scratch, I'd encourage more bathrooms than anything else, because throwing up a spare bedroom to accommodate more people is fairly simple, but throwing up more bathrooms to accommodate more people, not so much. To start throwing up new showers, new plumbing, new toilets, that's a struggle. So it's better to start throwing them up as early as you can, or from the very start, than later on when it becomes very inconvenient. But that about sums it up for my introduction to remodeling. Subscribe for real, like this video, share this video. ishejindu@ivafrica.com. If you want a business inquiry, go watch another video, come back next week to learn about refurnishing, and later on I'll be coming back and going more in depth with everything I've been talking about. But until the next one, peace.